Hopefully my Zoom plays nice. Computer's acting crazy just now. But yeah, so obviously today, I know it's a lot of new people on here. I can't talk right now at all. Forgive me. But a lot of new people are on here right now. So for people who are like new, um, I'm not going to go too crazy on the charts today. I'm gonna do what I usually do. I'm gonna scroll through and see what I see. If I see any setups for you guys, if you guys want to hop into it. But on the flip side, I'm just going to scroll through and look real quick. This is a potential setup right here on gold. A potential going for a pretty big buy. I don't know if it will hold out or not. It might, it may not. We're going to see though. It's setting up really nice. If you guys don't know, I traded harmonics. This is a Gartley pattern on here. And my green zone is my entry zone. So it doesn't matter if price hits, over here. Oops, wrong way. Oops, wrong thing. One more time, try this. It doesn't matter if price hits over here or over here. If price hits this green box, I'm getting in this trade for a sell no matter what. Now, one of the plus sides of trading harmonics for you guys who do not know, in between these big patterns, there's always a bunch of smaller patterns. Like it is guaranteed to happen. So that way, people who ask me a lot, they're like, man, what session do you trade? I only trade New York, which I know I'm missing a lot of money in the London session. You would think, but I don't, because when you have a harmonic setup, either it's going to hit or it's not going to. So what you do is when you see your setup, you place your pending order, let that thing go, man. You see I have all these ghosted out patterns on here, like from the past. And when they do is basically when they approach entry, all these little spots right here are ghosted out patterns, or basically patterns that happened already. So what you do is, let's say you're a busy guy or gal, you're real busy and you're tired, you want to go to sleep. You come in here, you find a setup for a pattern, put that thing in. I mean, either price is going to hit your entry or it's not. So I mean, you don't have to sit there and watch it. So I literally only trade New York session because I don't have to be up at 3 in the morning. Because if I set a pattern up at 9 o'clock p.m. and set my pending order, either it's going to hit it or it's not going to. And that's basically what it is. Another potential pattern on UJ, looking like a bat pattern. Now, the bat pattern is not my favorite pattern, but it does definitely make money also. The Gartley pattern is definitely my favorite pattern. This is another potential setup on GJ, which is the cipher pattern, which we're going to see what happens here. And for you guys who don't know patterns, don't worry about it. Don't stress it. That's what we have the harmonic scanner for. Now, for people who just hopped on here, if you have a question, or if I'm saying some terminology you do not know, drop your question in the Zoom chat, or unmute yourself and ask it, because it's not a problem at all. This was a nice setup on this one that I definitely missed, but you guys can see there's a pattern here too. There was a pattern right here. An entry was right here. If you guys don't know, I'm using TradingView. If you don't know TradingView or haven't used TradingView, definitely get familiar with it, because TradingView will be your best friend, because it's definitely mine. I remember back in the day, I was only using the MT4 to try to draw my setups on. I was like, man, this thing kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I was introduced to TradingView, and I've been using it ever since. Let me see if I have any more setups real quick. My computer's acting slow, so if it freaks out on us, my bad. There's a little pattern. Well, two patterns actually. See, again, remember there's patterns in the pattern. So I have this bat pattern in the middle of this cipher pattern that hasn't completed yet. So I had another pattern here too on AUD USD that completed already. You guys can see it's right here.
I got a question, Amana.
Uh-huh.
Are you using pitchforks? Is that what those lines are?
No, they kind of look like pitchforks, but they're actually just trend lines.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, what I do is, since trend lines are so accurate, I don't know how pitchforks work, right? I was introduced to pitchforks a long time ago, and I was like, I don't understand this crap at all. Because at that point, I was still trying to learn how to trade. So these lines are actually just my my trend lines. I'm gonna cover that too. But if you guys see how gold follows these trend lines so well, hold on, let me hide this real quick. Gold follows these trend lines so well. So every one of these lines you see is a trend line. If it's green, it was drawn on the 1 hour. If it's black, it was drawn in the daily. If it's gold, it was drawn in the 4 hour. And you see how price just keeps coming back to him over and over. So like I literally can draw a trend line. And the reason why there's so many of them is because price keeps hitting them, especially on gold. So on my gold markup, it probably have the most lines of anything on it, because price follows them so well. Like even all the way over here too. Like Look how price just like respects all these trend lines on here. And I know it might freak some of you guys out to see this many lines on the chart, but I mean, they're there for a reason. Like just look and you see how price just like comes to all these over and over. Even when price made that big drop, it came back to a trend line and dropped again and went back to another trend line right here. I know I'm drawing crap all over the place, but you guys see what I'm saying. Like look how this is trend line respect. Like even when price is moving up and down, just respecting these trend lines over and over and over. So what I end up doing with that is, matter of fact, I'm not get too far ahead. I will mark those up in a second and show you guys how I do that and why I do it that way. But let me look at these charts and see what I see. The cipher pattern right here is still valid. Now, for you guys who don't know, also harmonics. When price gets to D right here, since D is, I mean, at the top, it's gonna be going for a sell. So we're waiting on this setup to complete. So again, one of those things, you just set your order and let it ride. I'm not saying harmonics are 100%, but again, this pattern right here, waiting to the complete too. You see I have a 4-hour trend line coming down right here, and price meets at a 1-hour trend line. I mean, 1-hour level of resistance right there. So whenever price gets up here somewhere, I'm gonna be looking for it. It kind of looks like price already made this move already, but I know that if it pushes up here, I can still set my order and let it, get in for the straight for the sell. Let me see what I got. If I have anything else, let me zoom out a little bit. Now, the way I trade, I mean, I definitely use a lot of my basic stuff as far as my trend lines and my levels of support and resistance, or some people call it floor and the ceiling, to go with my patterns. So you guys see I have a pattern right here, and then in the middle, I have a trend line. Like it rejected off a trend line to make this big, giant downward move. And I can almost assure you guys, if I copy the same trend line right here, if I copy this one down, let me see. Let me see if I drop this right here and I zoom out. Let's see what we got. Yeah, look at that. Look where it touched that again in the past. This is why I have so many trend lines on my gold chart for. Look how long ago that trend line was in the past, right there, when price wicked it, and it came back into play on this pattern. Price tested again, wicked it, and then it was the wick. It was an entry for my pattern. But again, that goes to, you can just set this pattern and let this thing ride. You don't have to sit there and watch it the whole time. Even though I know a lot of people want to watch their patterns or watch their trades play out, that's extra stress you don't need in your life, like for real. I'm telling you right now, if you think you can sit there and not freak out about a long spike or a long whatever that happens on the chart, you're lying to yourself. Because as soon as you see a long movement, you'll be like, oh my God, price is reversing on me. You're gonna get out and then price is gonna go exactly the way you want it to go. Well, let me see what else I got on here. Oh, this one's already done already. This one is getting there. We're definitely getting there. Yeah, we're getting there. Look how perfectly that one they played out. Nice little cipher pattern. Also, for you guys who have not been on my session before, if you see a blue and purple pattern on here, it's a cipher. If you guys don't know patterns, it does not matter. On any of my charts, if you see a blue and purple pattern, it's a cipher. If you see an orange and black pattern, it's a bat pattern. If you see a yellow and blue pattern, it is a Gartley pattern. And for you guys who don't know what that is, it does not matter. It literally does not matter, because we ain't covering that today. Okay, it's enough of this. That's the bat pattern right there. And you guys see how it played out. This is the cipher pattern right here. You guys see how it played out. Right here, this is the Gartley pattern in the middle of all that. This one missed entry like 3 times. So with this, I'm not gonna chase this one, but it definitely missed entry like a bunch of times, because my entry is at 886 right here. Let me see what else I got. Then I go over these trend lines, these M and W formations, and then I will also go over why I have so many trend lines on my chart for. That looks crazy. But look what we got here. Gartley. Forming up nicely. How long will you spend on one pattern in 24 hours? When I trade, I set my entries. Like when I see a pattern, I just draw it out. And then what I do is I trade zone to zone, meaning that, again, every black line you see on here was drawn on a daily time frame. Every green line you see was drawn in 1 hour, and every gold line you see was drawn in the 4 hour. For instance, see this black outline I have right here? This was another Gartley pattern in the midst of another pattern down here. Let me unhide this real quick. Bam. So pattern right here. You see how that pattern took off? All I do with this is I set my entry, I set my stop loss, and I set my take profit. I trade zone to zone, so there's no such thing as a time frame of how long I'll be inside a pattern. Like when it hits, and when it ends, it ends. Because if you sit here and watch this thing the whole time, you're gonna end up closing out too early from freaking out. Which again, it sounds so simple to not do it, but naturally in you, if you're in a trade and you see it start to take a dive, you're like, oh man, let me get up this trade, but it hasn't hit stop loss yet. If it hasn't hit stop loss, don't freak out. Let it do its thing. So for instance, this trade right here, I'm on a 1 hour time frame. Every candle is an hour. Remember, every time frame you pick, every candle is that time frame. So on this, every candle is an hour. So for me to get from zone to zone, meaning from entry to my first level of resistance, which is right here. See this area right here? This took, let me see. It took 6 hours to get there. But my take profit is set. I'm not freaking out. I'm letting it do its thing. If it takes 6 hours, if it takes 6 minutes, it does not matter, because we don't know how fast this is going to spike up from entry or down from entry. It just depends on how news is going or price is just moving that way regardless. So in this case, when price is just moving up regardless, let it do its thing. Don't freak out. Let me see. Did that go off them already? I think I did. So with that being said, I'll now go to my other chart so I can show you guys about these trend lines and this break and retest, MW formations, and yeah, that's it. And these plethora of trend lines. So this is my class chart. This is from my last session last Sunday. I didn't do one on Thursday. For you guys who don't know, my link is always the same on here. So the link you guys saw for this class is always the same. No matter what, if I'm doing a opportunity call or whatever, it's going to be the same link no matter what. It's always the same. But let me erase this off here. I usually do a session at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays and on Sundays. I was using this in my screenshot purposes. So I'm going to show you guys all of these trend lines and stuff on here real quick. So I'm going to erase this too. I don't need this anymore. I'll just ghost you out real quick. And I will also hide you. So it might be actually better if I do a clean chart, because this thing is messy. Look at all those lines on gold. My God. So I'm gonna erase all of this. We're just starting from scratch. So when I come on the chart, I know for you guys who've been in my session before, you guys have seen this 1,000 times, who have seen my markets before. For any of you guys who have never used TradingView before and this is your first time ever seeing it, TradingView has every tool you could possibly need over here on the left. You see it, like they got arrow. I don't know what's the dot do. Oh, it just shows you where price and stuff is at. Okay, I never use that. I use the arrow all the time for everything. You have all of your line types on here. You guys saw I'm using the arrow. That's this right here. We have your horizontal line, as I usually use. That's my support and resistance. Again, I'm on daily time frame right now, so every candle that you guys see is a whole day. It's a whole day. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna make this daily. Now again, I already have presets on here, but I'll do the old way so you guys can see what I did. So when you go in here to the left and you select your horizontal line, which is gonna be your level of support or resistance, aka your floor and your ceiling, all you do is you're looking for points where price like hit the brakes and turned around at. A good indicator of that are points like this. We see it's like there's 3 long wicks in the same spot. That was a weird sentence to say just now, but you guys know what I meant. You guys see right, where's my box at? Right here. Again, that's support. This is support. This is support. This is support. And then right here, this is resistance. Now, the reason how I know the difference is if price is below a certain point, that's resistance. If it's above it, it's support. You guys see how price kind of like sat on top of this point after it finally broke through it. That's your this is your support in green, your resistance right here in red. Now, this is also called the your floor and your ceiling. I mean, obviously you know what the floor is. You stand on the floor, so price would be above it, and the ceiling is above your head, so I mean, same difference. So if you're on somebody else's like session or class, you hear somebody say a floor and a ceiling or support and resistance, they're the same thing. Let me erase these boxes real quick. Now you can also do this. I know Ray teaches this to do this on the line chart right here. I prefer to do mine on a regular candle chart. It makes no difference. It's all about preference. But the line chart just shows you like where price actually closed at. It doesn't show the wicks too. I don't think it shows the wicks on here at all. Rather do mine on a candle chart though. Look at these wicks on here. I'm looking for though on this daily chart, I'm looking for spots where price wicked out like this. You see all this right here in the middle? All these are wicks. So I'm not looking to draw these through the middle of a candle. I want to see points where price turned around at. So I determine that by looking at the wicks on them. But what I'm going to do is go through and, since it's on my daily time frame, I'm going to go through and get all these levels. And what's funny, look to this far right real quick. This line I just drew, look where price is at. Look where price turned around at in that same exact spot. So again, it hit resistance in that same exact spot again. And this is all the way back from, that's from May 2012. Last time price was here was March 2013. That shows you like how price comes back to the same places, and we use these to determine where price could possibly be going at. So let me go doing the same thing again. The area like this, you guys see all these this area where price has been hitting the brakes at. Drop a line right there, and when you find a good one, you'll see that price would have came back there at some other point too, like over here. See how price is back here again. Same thing here. Same thing here. Price almost got here at this point and turned around. And right here, price this is support. And all throughout the time, it's been resistance. But in the past, it was support in that same spot. Think of these lines too is, again, these are not straight definitive lines. These are more of zones where price want to turn around at. Not just a perfect line. So let me go do some more lines for you guys. Right there, same thing. You guys see price been tapping and turning. Oops, not that one. So I'm going to do right here also. Price again, tapping and turning. Be my new phrase is tapping and turning. That's pretty funny. I don't know if you guys still hear this music in the background or not, but if it's distracting you guys, let me know because it's definitely still playing. I got to turn it off. Let me see something real quick. Okay, never mind. Thought I saw something for a second, but just not too loud. Okay, no problem. So I mean, I'm not going to draw every single line on here that's on here, but what I'm going to do is basically drop down to the next time frame to show you guys. So I can speed this up some. I usually only do this for an hour. I don't want to spend 45 minutes just drawing lines on the chart. So I'm going to go to my 4 hour. On my 4 hour, I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm selecting my line, but this time, remember on my smaller time frame, it's going to be gold now. My 4 hour lines are gold. That was an accidental drop just now, but that's a perfect line right there also. I'm doing the same thing. Remember, now every candle you see is 4 hours. It's actually a nice head and shoulder right there too. But this is drop one about right here. Again, look at the wicks. Going over again, looking for more spots where price hit the brakes at. This is kind of a jacked up spot, but I'm gonna move this up a little bit. Like right there, bam. Same thing in here. I'm looking. Scanning the market. And the plus side of this too is once you do this one time, you don't have to come in here and do this every single time you open up the chart because I mean they save on here. That's why I use TradingView too. You can just click on erase and go back. There's no like secret menus and stuff on here like when you use MT4. I remember when I first used MT4, I was so lost. Like even though it should be simple, I was pretty much lost on MT4. If you guys know I'm talking about MetaTrader 4, they have a computer version also. Most of us just use it on our phone to enter trades, but they have a computer version also. And the computer version is like, it's just not as sexy as TradingView is. Basically, it's basically what it is. You know, it doesn't play nice. Look at that long candle. That's crazy. But again, you guys see the zone. I was looking over here to the far left right here, and price again found support over here and found resistance right here. So the same points come back into play over and over. So now let me get those off the screen. That should be enough 4 hour levels of support and resistance. Let me go down to the 1 hour, doing the same thing. Remember, on the 1 hour, these are gonna be green now. Just differentiate. If I show you guys one of my old charts, you'd be like, what the f is going on there? Because I had all different kind of colors on there. I had like blue, red, yellow. And it got so bad to the point where I didn't even know what my lines meant. Yeah, it is straight up ugly. You talking about MT4? It is. It's ugly, and yeah, I just don't like it. I mean, you know. So you guys see now, again, remember, all these candles now are 1 hour. I'm on a 1 hour time frame. I don't draw any lines on my 15-minute except for when I'm entering a trade. I might drop my entry on there, my line, just my entry, but I don't actually like draw any level of support and resistance on my 15 minutes, just for the most part. Yeah. So Michelle said, am I looking, so are you looking at the chart to predict future trends within the market? It's not so much predicting future trends, because I mean, no one really predicts what happens. It's kind of like probability. I always say that on my classes, because that's basically what we do. We find the highest probability of what can happen next. Because I mean, only way you know exactly what's going to happen is if you've been like putting in work on the charts and know what can possibly happen next. So again, it's all about probability. No one knows 100% what's going to happen. Even the patterns that I dropped and showed you guys earlier, those are about probability also. Because for all I know, a pattern sometimes the pattern gets blown straight through, but for the most part, the patterns hold up. But again, no strategy is 100%. So let me go. And this line is not important right now because price is nowhere close to this, but I'm just doing it so you guys can see that we do this on every time frame, basically. You guys see how this was resistance, and then again support, and then it went back to being resistance. So now that I've went through and did all of that, because I mean, that's all the lines I'm doing right there. I'm not going to do any more. I could get in here and closer, but remember this: when you're marking up a chart, you don't need every single line on here. I know when I zoom out to my daily, bam, it looks like a lot. Probably looks worse on this one. Let me go to this one. When I zoom out on my daily, this is my main chart here. Here's my daily. It looks like a lot of lines on here, a whole heck of a lot of lines on here. But in all actuality, you don't need all these down here unless you're trading down here as of now, because price is so far up here right now. It's so far up here right now. I mean, the lines all the way down here don't matter too much right now. So I'm just gonna focus on like one smaller part of the chart right now, to doing every single line on here. Now, what I do from there is, my diagonal trend lines next, which how those work is, there's literally a button for trend line. You go over here, click the little tab, it says trend line. And with that, I go and let me go to my daily trend line. Well, I'll just do just the bar. So what I do with this is, the same way I'm using wicks to determine my level of support and resistance, I'm doing the same thing with my my trend lines. At this low point down here, I'm looking at this, I'm just dragging. I'm looking for points like this where price has just been tapping off a certain point. So for instance, I drop this right here. And you guys see what I mean with tapping off, like right here. So price just rejected that level. For a trend line to be legit, all you need is 2 touches on it. But I prefer I want like 4 or 5 of them bad boys on there, just because that way I know that it's real. It's a real strong trend line or level. And with that, I'm gonna click on here and change this to 4 hour trend line. Bam. So oops, not 4 hour. Shit is in daily. Bam. So I know who asked that earlier. Okay, Bianca asked earlier, would I have pitchforks on here? No. What you were seeing was what you can do in TradingView with anything you draw here. You just hold down Control. I don't know how it does on Mac. It might be the same way. I have a PC. So you hold down Control and you just drag it. And what I do this way because price likes to follow the same pattern. So by me just dragging this, I can see that I have another trend line right here. I guess this is how pitchforks work too. because it shows you that price moves just like it moves sideways. It moves at a diagonal also. So you guys see that I just drug the same line, the first one I drew, right down to this point where price touched that. Bam, right there. And look at all that resistance on that trend line right there. Like price literally dropped down and came right back up off that trend line for a nice rejection. And I do the same thing on my chart. Like I don't like to have my trend lines going every single direction. It says, yeah, pitchforks are just harmonic trend lines because they're projected off harmonic patterns. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, I never used them before. I just use my trend line and I copy and drag these bad boys. And the reason why I drag them is because price keeps on coming back from home. Same thing right here. Look at this same angle. I just drug the same trend line over. Same angle. Look at that. All that respect. All that respect. Even right here, when price turned around at, look at that respect when price took that dive off of it. Now look, this is all the way back in, this was May 2018. Look when price came back to it. This is where we're at now. So price might actually, did I tap this? Actually didn't tap it, turned around right before, but I mean, you guys see the point that I'm making right here. It says it's too confusing, still don't use them. Yeah, I draw my patterns, but I base my patterns off my my diagonal trend lines also. I use them as my, like a lot of times they're either a B, like one of the B points in here, or a pattern falls right in the middle of a movement of price pinging the top and the bottom of two trend lines. What I mean by that is, if you guys look in here, let me drop down real quick. Cool. So right here, you guys see how in the middle, this little zone right here, price is just like pinging back and forth between these two trend lines. That's a good area to get in for like buys and sells real quick, like if you're out here scalping or whatever. Because even on a smaller time frame, you'll see price ping between two trend lines. And that's why my gold chart has so many trend lines on it, because I was taking the same trend line right here. I was just dragging it across. Oops, I don't know what I'm on right now. There you go. I was taking the same trend line, just dragging it across and seeing where price was at. So if I drop this like about right, let me see, where was I at? Was it the same one? Yeah. So you guys can see it right here. Like again, see your touches on it. It's just giving you an example of where price might go. Look how much price respected this trend line right here. The same one I just drug up. You see that right there? Look at all those wicks. And since I copied this one on a 1 hour trend line, when a 1 hour time frame, what I'm gonna do is turn this one green. So I know that I copied this daily on the 1 hour. So now this is green. I know the difference between my 1 hour and my daily trend lines on here. But just look how much price respected that trend line though. That's sexy. So let me erase that now though. So I said I was gonna cover also the break and retest on here. So if you guys know what the break and retest is, it's basically when price finally gets through resistance or gets through support. What it tends to do is come back to it. And I'm still copying lines in here again. I just have some done copying lines, but I'm copying lines again. But let me copy this up here too, just so you guys can see how powerful these trend lines are. Because again, all these trend lines that I copied and drew in here, like even these little skinny green ones I just drew in here just now, look at the respect on it again. Look at that rejection off that trend line right there. Again, look at the respect, long wicks at these levels right here. Look at that long wick in there. Now, the reason why I'm still copying these is to show you guys is that price heavily respects this, and all these trend lines are based off this one right here. The first one I drew, which was what, this one? This is the first trend line I drew. All these trend lines are the same one, just controlled and drugged. When you press control and copy, it's gonna copy the same exact trend line over, or same exact whatever over. I can control and copy this right here too. It's gonna do the same thing. But you see how powerful like the trend lines are, because if price is moving at that angle, you can always find price at that angle again. I probably can draw price at a different angle inside here. You're probably gonna see how it came back to the same lines over and over again too. But I tend to draw these where I see the big movement at, because I mean, again, it just shows you kind of where price is going at or has been doing. Oops. Let me see. Yep, bam, look at that. Look at that. And I keep showing you guys examples over and over, but I'm just trying to prove a point that price keeps coming back over there over and over again. So up here where price is at now, I know a lot of you guys who are on Eric's team probably caught a lot of this gold sell right here. A whole lot of that gold sell, if not the whole thing. Was it right here? Yeah, this is gold sell right here. Now, if you guys see, even with this movement happening all the way to the downside, this is a move that happens called the break and retest. Now, not that I have this set up on here on 15 minute, 1 hour. Let me see. Yeah, we're good. So in 1 hour, this move called the break and retest. And this is like one of those bread and butter, like, classic OG moves because it happens so much on the charts over and over and over again. You can set a pending order for this. So price needs momentum to break a level. And so the more momentum it gets is the stronger chance it has of breaking a level. And even when it breaks a level, especially gold, that's why my gold chart has so many levels on it for, because price respects these levels so nicely on gold. If you guys just look at this, you guys will see that when price made this big dip off a 1 hour level, not 1 hour, a daily level up here, where did it drop down to? It dropped right down to a trend line and then rejected it right back to another trend line and then dropped down to a trend line, then rejected it to a trend line. You guys see what I mean by price pinging back and forth between those two spots? And even when price got the momentum to finally break through this, what did it do? It broke it and came back to the trend line and then carried itself down, found support, went back to a trend line. I know I sound redundant, but look how much times it happened over and over in gold. So with that being said, let's go to break and retest. The break and retest does happen on your levels of support and resistance, but it happens a lot more on these diagonal trend lines where you can see it coming. Because again, let's say I did not draw a level right here. See, there's a low level right there. But let's say I didn't draw a level right there. I didn't have my level drawn. Just by me having this diagonal trend line right here in the middle, bam, the one right there, I know that there's a chance that once price breaks past this, it's going to come back to it. And that's your good old break and retest. And this move happens a lot. And this is why I utilize diagonal trend lines so much, because I'm sure you guys the example of the break and retest. So, like I said, price needs momentum to break a point. You guys see that price came down hard. It came down real hard right here. And it broke this 1 hour trend line right here in the middle. Let me change the color of that so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This one, I'll make it pink. So when price finally broke that, it came right back to it. So when price coming back to it, this is my opportunity to sell this. So I can do a pending order on this and do a sell limit on this. So I know if I miss this giant move down, but price finally got the momentum to bust through this bad boy, I can now do a pending order on here, a sell limit. So as soon as price hits this and rejects, I'm in the sell. Like it's literally just that simple. I can bet you if I copy this trend line right here up, the same daily one is a trend line right here too. Look at that. So you guys see why I have so many lines in there. Because I end up coming on the charts and doing that so many times. Like I come on the charts and be like, oh man, let me copy this line. Let me copy this line again. Let me copy this line again. Young said I got to hop off. Thanks so much. No problem. This will be recorded though. This will be recorded. So if you feel like you missed any value, you'll be able to find it. But again, you guys see how I just drug the same. Again, all these are the same exact trend line. I just drug the same trend line up. I make it green because it's on 1 hour. But you guys see how price, look at that. Price respect that bad boy nicely. And what it do is playing in between two trend lines, pinging. Right here again, another one. You have a break and retest. When price finally broke this pink trend line right here, it came back to it. Again, that's my opportunity for a sell. Because I know if I do a sell limit right there, I'm in this trade as soon as price pushes down. And what did it do? It broke another level, which is this green trend line right here, this one. And what did it do? It went to another trend line, pushed up, broke, retested it. That's my chance for a sell. It's literally, that's one of the simplest moves you guys are going to see. And it happens so much over and over and over. I probably can go on any chart and find this, but I use gold as an example because gold had so much of these on it, it's ridiculous. So again, I know a lot of you guys caught this sell right here with Eric. I think it was this one. It doesn't matter which one it was. They caught this sell, but the buy opportunity was right here. Also off the rejection off the trend line and the push up like for the break and retest. Any questions on that? Oh, my knee. Let me see. No questions. If you guys have any questions, you can unmute yourself. You also can just drop it in the chat. Say I'm looking at it. So keep looking back and forth like a crazy person. I'm looking back at the chat. It's for you guys also who don't know how to set a pending order. So what you do is when you go into your administrative form, maybe on your phone or whatever, it should be Buddha's favorite topic right here. So we talk about this dang on pending order so much. So what a sell limit is going to do is when price comes to a certain point, when it hits that entry, you're in for a sell. So by me seeing that, this I want to put a sell limit up here at this green trend line right here. Now, even if prices are down here, I didn't catch any of this buy. If I'm doing my sell limit, so remember, this is a giant break and retest right here. Almost pointing at the screen just now. This right here is a giant break and retest of this same trend line copied over. So again, if I put my sell limit right here at the touch of this trend line, remember that green box I showed you guys earlier that was like this? I actually turned this green. It was like this. It doesn't matter where this where price hits this line at. I'm in the sell no matter what. So even be it if price hits right here where it hit at, or it hits over here somewhere, I know that once price hits this trend line, like my entry is going to be right in this general zone of this trend line. I know once price hits this, I'm in the sell no matter what. That's just how it's going to work. So your sell limit is basically a pending order, so that as soon as price comes up there and hits that, you're in this trade as soon as price turns around. So it's kind of setting you up to not have to sit there and watch it the whole time. Because again, as soon as it turns around, you're in this trade for a sell. On the flip side, if I want to do a buy limit, let me keep this arrow. Keep this arrow for educational purposes. Let me erase this. That's your sell limit right there. Now your buy limit, again, another pending order. Look, this is why I don't spend a lot of time on the charts, but why I'm on the charts, and you got to pay attention to what happened and what's going on. Again, it's about probability not being 100% correct all the time, but it's about probability of what can happen. Now we see that price up here has been sitting on top of this level. You guys see my 4-hour gold line right here? Let me change this right here back like it's supposed to be, so it doesn't stick out so hard. Hold up. Oops, wrong color, green. So you guys see how price has been sitting on top of this 4-hour level right here, this gold level, over and over and over. Like all the way since it came up here, it's been stuck on this level. Has not been able to break past it. Every time it goes down to it, it rejects off of it hard. By me seeing that, I know that's a good zone for a buy limit. I can place a buy in. So I had a pattern. Let me draw it real fast. I had a pattern right here. This is not important to what I'm saying at all right now, but I had a pattern right here. Let me make this nice and bam. So that's my pattern right there I had. Remember I told you guys earlier that I put my trend lines and my levels of support and resistance with my patterns. I know that, okay, I have an entry for a pattern right here going for a buy. Also have a trend line, ascending trend line right here, and I have a level of support. That's 3 confirmations to get in this trade. So again, I set my pending buy right here and let price push up. Like bam, I'm in this trade already. So I can't remember who asked the question earlier about how long do I stay in it. I stay in it till it hits my take profit until I'm satisfied. But this right here is a lot of confirmation to hop in this trade. Again, the pattern does not matter right now. I'm not covering that, but I'm just showing you guys how that works together. So this would be at the end of my pattern. Actually, let me put it back on here real quick. End of my pattern, if I had it here or not, I have a buy limit. So bam, price hits there, price rejects. So my sell limit is when price is going up, it's going to hit a point and turn around. My buy limit is when price is selling, it's pushing down, and when it hits the point, as soon as it hits that point, I'm in this trade for a buy. So my entry in this trade was actually at my it was somewhere in this general area. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter too much where it was at, but it was somewhere in this general area where this red box is at. So that's my entry for that. So I know that once it hits that, I'm in this trade. And how I traded this, since I have diagonal trend lines on this, my take profit was, I want to say right here, where this diagonal trend line is at, right here. Because again, price has been coming there over and over again, respecting these levels. I know that once price buys off of this, it's probably going here. Even if it goes here and rejects, I know it's probably going here because price has been going there over and over and over again. And proof of that is, again, in the future, I mean, obviously, all this right here wasn't here yet, but look what price did. It came back to this trend line again, rejected it, and went right back up there again. Same exact zone, same exact move. This move is the break and retest. So this is your break of this trend line, and this is your retest of it. Let me actually make that 2 different colors. This is your break, and this is your retest. Again, your retest is your spot for your sell limit on this. Any questions on that? No questions. So on the flip side, I know you guys probably like, okay, sorry, I'm new. Is take profit the amount you make from the trade? Yeah. So your take profit is going to be, I mean, it's not the amount of money you make, it's the area you're out your trade at. And so how much ever lot size you used, wherever it hits that point, the trade closes for you. Now, the benefit of using the take profit is because, let's say, again, I only trade New York session. And it's fine to show. I know you're new. I only trade New York session, which is just in the mornings. That's all I trade. I don't stay up super late. I remember I used to stay up to like 3 in the morning or go to sleep and then wake up at 3 in the morning to get on London session. I was like, nah, this ain't it, chief. So what I ended up doing was I was like, I'm just gonna start focusing hard on New York session because money be made in New York session. But if you have your pending order set up, no matter what, either gonna trigger or not. That's how you gotta look at these things. Either it's gonna trigger or it's not. So my take profit. So if you see somebody post TP, that's a take profit. My bad. TP is take profit. So if you ever see somebody drop a trade and they're like TP is blank, whatever number it is, that's take profit. And so what that means is, for instance, I had this pattern again right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I had this pattern right here. As soon as price hits up, what is this? 100 some odd pips. As soon as I get up here, I'm out this trade no matter what. Like that's all positive for me. Let that thing ride to my take profit. So I'm not sitting there and watch it. So let's say I set this pending order, I set this buy limit at right now, and then price hits that in the middle of the sleep. I'm fine because I'm sleeping, but my take profit is set. So I know that if price hits this point, I'm out this trade. And yes, price did end up pushing up for another probably 300 something pips, but I mean, get what you're supposed to get at the market and let it ride. Don't look at it like, man, I missed these pips or I missed these 300 pips, but I got 100. You got 100 pips, that's dang good. That's a great trade if you get 100 pips on it. I was talking to a trader from Charleston also, and she was telling me that she's struggling to get 10 to 15 pips. She's been trading for 6 months. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. Some people only trade for 10 to 15 pips, but she was like, she don't understand how you can get that many pips. The plus side of trading with these trend lines and trading patterns or whatever, they happen on every time frame. So you might get a pattern that goes for 10 pips or 20 pips, or you might get a pattern that goes for 350 pips. Like, it just depends on what time frame you're trading on. And what's crazy about it, let me actually zoom out a little bit. I want to say all the way down here at the bottom, Ray and I both had the same pattern on this. I can't remember exactly where it's at. It doesn't matter. I'm looking over here, matter of fact. I'm tripping. Let me see. Yeah, right here in the middle. So look at this long move right here. This long move up, there's probably like 1,500 pips. Ooh, that's more than that. This long move up is like almost 3,000 pip move. There's no way in the world I knew that price was going to go up for 3,000 pips. But we did have a pattern down here though. If I can actually select it. Is this the right pattern? I can't even tell. I have too much crap on here. But yeah, there you go. We had a cipher pattern right there. Now, we knew that price was going to push up. We didn't know that price was going to push up for 3,000 pips. I mean, if we did, I'd still be holding this trade right now. And this is all the way back in this is back in May. We both had the same pattern on this, and I did not mean to do that. Scroll over. What am I doing? I'm stupid. I can just zoom in on this. My bad, y'all. Bam. So that's the pattern we had right there. I definitely just messed it up. Let me try this again. One more time. Let me zoom back. Zoom back. Zoom out. Zoom out. Now I'm trying this again. So, bam. So this is our pattern we had on here. We caught some pips off of this. You see it came down and went back up this little dance around. And I want to say on this pattern, I might have caught 100 to 200 pips. Well, right there, it's at 130 pips. That's what I caught on this. It went for 3,000 pips. Again, had no idea what was going to happen. But it just goes to show that it doesn't matter what time frame you draw a pattern on. Patterns happen over and over. This pattern right here was probably drawn on the 4-hour or 1-hour time frame. No one knew it was going to go for that many pips. But again, it doesn't matter, because get what you're supposed to get out the market, and don't live with regret of trading of, oh, I missed out on this. They have the commercial about FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't live that way when it comes to trading, because at the end of the day, you're going to miss a lot of trades. It's all about what you catch, not what you miss. Because you can catch this. I only caught this 100 pips right here. Oops. I only caught this 100 pips right here. That's 100% fine. Yeah, it went all the way up here, but again, I didn't know it was going to go for 500 pips. I knew it was going to push up, though, not exactly where it's going to turn around at. This is almost always about probability of where price can possibly be going at. That's why we set our TPs in certain places and our stop losses in certain places. On the flip side, yes, about take profit. A stop loss is there for in case the trade doesn't go your way. It protects your account from price falling through the floor and closing your account out. Because best believe a lot of new traders don't believe in stop loss until they needed a stop loss. But okay, any questions with that? I know you're new. Once you start going to the academy and stuff, you're going to see what I'm talking about with the take profit and stop loss and stuff like that. So let me erase this off here and erase that. But you guys see what I mean, though, with the buy. And so if price is pushed here to my take profit, be happy with that. That's what you got. The rest of this move that happened is fine. Now, you might be wondering why that's at my take profit there instead of like up here somewhere. So the completion of this pattern is actually like right here at the top. That would be, if you use the harmonic scanner, that would be take profit 3. Now, for the most part, we usually don't ride stuff to take profit 3. I mean, I know I don't, because there's no guarantee of take profit 3. There's more likelihood of take profit 1 or take profit 2. Take profit 3, if it gets hit, that's great, but it doesn't always get hit. So we usually say ride to 1 or 2. Now, with that being said, the reason why my take profit was right here is because I have a trend line right here. I've been seeing how price has been rejecting this trend line over and over and over and over again. So I know that price could at least hit this trend line. So by me knowing that, that's my take profit. Now, on the flip side, same thing here. Let's say I got in this sell at the tip top up here. Like I got in this sell when it was up here. And I saw it falling. And then I would do one take profit right here at this level. Why? Because I know price has been stopping there. You guys see how price has been sitting over here. If it had support over here, then there was resistance right here. Then it was support right here. I know price has been stopping and turning around right there. So therefore, my take profit would at least be at this level right here. And my next take profit would be at this diagonal trend line right here. And the reason why that is, same reason. You guys see how price has been sitting on top of it, rejecting it, rejecting it, rejecting it. It's just all about probability right here, sitting on top of it. So if you have a point where price has been going to a lot, there's probably a higher chance that price is going to go back to that same spot again. So that's why you set your take profit. That's why I say that's why you would. That's why I set my take profit at those places for, because those are high probability spots. It's like people, you know, all my basketball players on here know that people take them high probability shots, which is basically layups and dunks. If you can't shoot them threes, you ain't shooting them threes out there. So why would you put Shaq on the 3-point line? Let that man make them high probability shots. So you know price is gonna go back there over and over again. Make that your take profit. Get that bag right there and run. Take the money and run. Pulling up from half court. Oh, you Steph Curry? But again, that's a high probability shot for him. How much time do you see Steph Curry go dunk on somebody? That's not a high probability shot for him at all. Man, Ray, we ain't talking about sports right now. Again, I'm off this now. We ain't talking about the overseas basketball day. I'll still dunk you though, Ray. I'm just saying. But with that being said, man, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm actually going to end this session right now. I've been here almost an hour. My throat is getting dry from talking so much. Analyze charts before trading. Yeah, that's absolute key. Now I know that's the question just now. It says, do you analyze charts right before trading? I do. I want to see where price has been going at and what it's been doing before I hop into a trade. Now I know there's people you might see on Facebook or Instagram who do naked trading, and that's 100% fine for them. Let's say, oh, this is my example from last time. You guys might need this, huh? So I'll use a different example. This one right here. This is I come on here, and this is all I see on my chart. Now this is what most of you guys' chart gonna look like when you open it up. Now, how far back I analyze my chart, it depends on what time frame I'm entering a trade on. Again, I trade harmonic patterns. So if I have a pattern that is, am I still zoomed in? Okay, I'm not. If I have a pattern that's drawn like the 15-minute or the 1 hour, I'm not looking all the way back here, like from back to 2017 or January of 2019 to see what's going to happen over here. I go out with prices. I go out with prices showing me what price has been doing recently. So with this pattern right here, all my levels I have drawn in here, you guys see this is levels that price has been tapping. I don't know what this right here is from, but it's all levels that price has been tapping. So with that being said, I probably wouldn't go back any farther than this right here what I see on my screen, because I don't need to go back all the way over here just to take a bat pattern off this. But what I probably will end up doing with this though is copying this line over just to see where it's at and see where it's been hitting at to see what price is probably going to do there. Like just to give myself some more information, but I don't need to go all the way back far in the past to do it. But remember I told you guys earlier when I first hopped on here, once you do these lines one time, this market one time, it's on here. Like it's going to stay on here. It's going to say it's going to be on here on tradingview.com for you guys who don't know. It's going to be on here. It's going to be saved on here. So if I've been analyzing this chart the whole time, like that's why I'm so intimate with gold, because I analyze gold a lot, like almost every day, because I like how gold moves. If I come in here and I see that price has been hitting this level of support over and over, oops, I'm on the wrong chart. Let me go back here. So if I come on here and I see that gold has been hitting this same level of support over and over and over again, which is right here, this is the most information I need right here. I have my trend lines coming through here, which I trade with also. I have my pattern set up. This is all the information I need right here. Now I do know that if gold price does break, but I can't talk. I do know that if gold price breaks beneath this, it's probably going to take a dive like down here somewhere. That's going to be like a free fall. But again, that's probability just off what I have right here. And there's a chance that could happen because you see that price broke and retested right here. You guys know what I'm talking about. Price broke and retested right here. This is your retest. That happened. So price might drop down, because there's actually another move right here that I'm not going to cover today at all, because it's not one of the things I do a lot, but I do notice it when it happens. Where the heck is it at? Right here. There's a thing called a head and shoulders. You're probably going to hear about a head and shoulders a lot. But a head and shoulders is this move right. Let me grab my bar. I was about to use the head and shoulders tool, but it doesn't matter. Right here, you guys can see it. That's the shoulder. That's not straight. That should be straight across. That's a shoulder. That is an ugly shoulder. This is your head. You guys see it though. And this is the other shoulder right here. So if you guys see head and shoulders, that's basically what it is. The head and shoulders is a movement like this. So we have left shoulder, the big spike in the middle, or big push up in the middle, which is gonna be your head, and your right shoulder. And then a good example of that actually was on, what was that on? I don't know what chart it was on. I feel like searching through all these, but I had a perfect example of a head and shoulders that I drew the other day, and it played out pretty well. Where is it at? Where is it at? But that move happens a lot also. And it basically, oh, here it is. So I dropped this head and shoulders right here in the group chat a few days ago, right before it happened. Let me ghost you out. You guys see this head and shoulders right here? Yeah, again, right there. You see the movement? It is right here. You got left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then price took a little dive off for the sell. When it went right back to support again, and then pushed up. So again, these moves happen over and over a lot. Head and shoulders not too important right now for you to learn, but that break and retest is going to be like your bread and butter, because that trade move happens so much over and over. And long story short, I only analyze what I need to analyze, because I have all my lines on my chart for a reason, so that this stuff stays here again. So I just keep it on there. I'm gonna go back as far as I need to. And with that being said, there's no more questions. It is 9 o'clock, so I guess I will be ending. Let me actually stop.
Yo, what up? Hey guys, before everybody get off, we have a